A scatter plot shows the representation or relationship between x and y values. So a scatter plot is a way of showing a whole bunch of different relationships among x and y values and seeing what the pattern is. So if you graph a bunch of ordered pairs relationships and you look at from left to right the line goes up, this is called positive correlation. So you're always going to read from left to right and it's going up, so that's positive correlation. The dots, if I made a line from left to right, these would go down, so this is called negative correlation. And over here, there's really not a pattern. You can't draw a line up or down. The dots are all over the place. This is called no correlation. So, let's read a scatter plot. The scatter plot shows education and income data. Describe the person represented by the point with coordinates 10, 30. So let's find the coordinate where x is 10 and y is 30. So it's right here. So what does that represent? So in order to read that, we need to read what 10 means. 10 means years of education completed. So this person had 10 years of education. The 30 is on the y-axis, so 30 represents annual incomes in the thousands. So this means that a person that has 10 years of education earns $30,000 per year. So because this is in the thousands, this would be $10,000 a year, $20,000 per year, $30,000 per year, $40,000, $50,000, etc. Okay, B. How many people have exactly 14 years of education? What are their incomes? So 14 years of education, there are 3 dots at 14 years. So one makes 50, this one's at 50, this one's at 80, this one's at 90. The points 1450, 1480, and 1490. Okay, use the table to make a scatter plot of the elevation and precipitation data. So precipitation means how much snow or rain falls in a year. Annual means a year. Elevation means how high you are above sea level. So what we're going to do for each of these points, we're going to graph these. So we already have the scale made. So the scale means how much are you going up by. So we've already marked off 500 right here. So this mark has to be 100. This mark has to be 200, etc. Now over here, we're going up. We're going from 0 to 20, and there's 2 spots. So this has to be 10, this has to be 30, this has to be 50. So now we're going to take each one of these points and we're going to plot them. Plot them means to graph it. So the first point, the elevation is 1050. The precipitation is 51. So 1,050. So 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. This is 1,100 right here. So it's going to be halfway in between. So I'm going to go over 1,050 and up 51. So that one's done. Elevation of 20, 42. So 20 is so tiny. So I'm going to go over 20, up 42. Right here. 596, 36. So 596. This is 600 right here. So 596 is pretty close to that. So 596 up 36 is right here. 18 and 20. 18's very close. 18 and 22 be right here. 11 and 56 would be hardly over at all. And then up here. So here's 1156. Done. 1072. So it's not quite 1100. And I'm going to go up hardly at all. So that's 8. And then 7554. 7554 right there. And then 40 and 10. It's hard to do it with my finger as pointing. So 1,329. So 1,200, 1,300 right here. And 29 right there. So there's my scatter plot. So number 1 reads, use the information example 1 to describe the person represented by point A. Oh, this was actually, I don't want to go back to this, but this was actually on the previous page. Okay. So I don't want to flip it back over, but so I'm going to skip that. So just make sure when you're doing this scale, you're paying attention to the scale, the numbers over here and here. Okay, so now we're going to do another one. I'm not going to do all of these, but so let's look at the scale here. So this is going up 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now what this means is this is not 20 right here. This jumped up, so we were putting what's called the break in. See, this is going up 5, up 5, up 5, but this goes up 20, then up 10, up 10, up 10. So because of this, there's a break. So let's graph a couple of these. So Atlanta has a latitude, so that's going to be over here of 34, and it goes up 51. So I'm going to go over 34, which is right here, and go up to 51, which is right here. So I'll make a dot. Over 42, up 42. Check. Over 42, up 36. Over 47, up 30. Over 21, up 22. Okay, etc. So you can kind of see how we graph it. So far I can't tell if it's negative, positive, or no correlation.